Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today I'm going to be talking about Sundial Cannabis. The ticker goes as SNDL. Now I'm going to be giving a lot of these latest updates that have occurred, as well as technical analysis and institutional interest. So without further ado, let's jump right into this one. So Sundial. I covered this one previously, so you'll find my previous video in the description below. Nonetheless, it's not a shocker that they actually work in cannabis industry. And just a quick overview from this presentation, their current sales from January 1st, 2021 to March 31st, 2021 includes 58% dried flowers, 16% vapes, pre-rolled 12%, and others around 15%. Now, a quick thing, they do have different types of cannabis based on either discount, value, core, premium core, or premium, and including that both in dried flower and vape industry. And a quick thing regarding Q1 2020 highlights. Now, this one here was all the way back. I think this is just an error. It's supposed to say Q1 2021. But in that sense, you're looking into earnings from operations to 1.7 mm versus loss operations of 32.7 million in Q4 2020. Now, they achieved the first quarter ever of positive adjusted EBITDA in Sundial's history. Now, this is massive, but the market really didn't react to this, so I'll talk to this one at the very end. And at 3.3 million versus a loss of 5.6 million in Q4 2020. Now, they have around 873 million unrestricted cash balance with no outstanding debt. They also invested 96 million in cannabis-related portfolio investments, generating a revenue of 15.7 million. Now, you get to see some of the key metrics. For instance, 74% of cannabis brand sale mix, marketable securities investments around 96 million, unrestricted cash 873.5, adjusted EBITDA 3.3 million, and net cannabis revenue of 9.9 million. In every single piece of this here, all these metrics, they're actually doing better than the last quarter, Q4 2020. And then they do go ahead and talk about Inner Spirit overview. And I'll refer to that in a minute. But first, the PR coming in on May 5th, 2021. And that one was to acquire Inner Spirit and Spirit Leaf Retail Cannabis Network. Now, this one here was approximately out of $131 million transaction, and the combined company will continue to focus to provide quality cannabis consumers through a responsible, disciplined approach while creating an endurable value for shareholders. Now, under the terms of the agreement, Inner Spirit shareholders will receive for each Inner Spirit common share 30 cents in cash and 0.0835 of Sundial common share, representing 9 cents per Spirit common share based on 10 days volume weighted average VWAP of the Sundial common shares. So basically they're buying their shares around 39 cents a share. That's what it comes out to. And representing a premium of 54.8% to 10-day VWAP. Now, this already happened and closed on May 4th, 2021. And the transaction has been unanimously approved by the board of directors of Sundial and Inner Spirit, and is expected to close early in the third quarter of 2021. Now, going back towards Inner Spirit overview. What we see here is the company overview in general. They're a franchisor and operator of recreational cannabis store across Canada with 86 total stores in operations under the Spirit Leaf name. Now, they have corporate retail operations, around 19 wholly operated corporations across Ontario, Alberta, and Saskatchewan, and as well franchise retail operations supports on 67 franchise Spirit Leaf retail across Ontario, Alberta, BC, British Columbia, Newfoundland, and Saskatchewan, and operates one of the largest franchise retail networks in Canada. They served 2.3 million guests in 2020 and currently has 250,000 members in its collective customer benefit program. And you look at their historical revenue and EBITDA margin, they're all positive. So that's definitely a plus for Sundial. Now, another thing here is the acquisition of Inner Spirit and Spirit Leaf Retail Cannabis Network. And you're looking into the basic details that I referred to just a little bit earlier, including how it sums out to be around 39 cents per Spirit common share. Now, key approvals and conditions, that's already been accepted. The transaction is expected to close by third quarter 2021. And then I did talk before about the Sunstream Bancorp and how that actually has been raised up a little. That I think I covered in 2 or 3 videos ago. Now, moving on from there, some of the other latest news. For instance here, you're looking into this PR that is basically giving an early sign or early warning system sign for relating to a takeover bid. And it's relating to Valence Company Incorporations, and they're acquiring more than 10% there. So that's just something to keep in mind of. They're approximately 9.7% off outstanding shares on a non-diluted basis as of April 14th, 2021, and they will be representing approximately 10.1% off the issued shares by that time. So they're buying around the 10% stake nonetheless. Now, quick thing here. Sundial increases commitment to Sunstream Bancorp Corporations. I did talk to that way ago, I think 2 or 3 videos ago, and that was what is referred to in that presentation. Now, another thing here is that it seems that a lot of these earnings have been actually missed. Now, I'm not sure how accurate this Yahoo page is, but it's quite interesting to see that I think the estimates here are usually a little bit higher than what is expected, or actually in some cases a lot higher, but they've actually been seeing an improvement in the EPS earnings. Now, another thing we need to look at, but before we do so, if you would like to see more contents like this, make sure to scroll down below, click that like button, please subscribe and turn notifications on, and if you would like to chat a little bit more, you can find a Discord server in the description below, totally free. Now, quick thing about institutional buyers. They've been a little bit on both sides. So you see Wolverine Trading adding 620,000 shares, HAP Trading adding 641,000 shares, and so it's a little bit mixed on both sides, but mainly bullish. At least for the month of May, they've been really bullish over bearish. Now, a quick thing here is that you're looking into an income for the first time ever almost. A big part of that here is investment revenue. Take a look at that. 12.9 million. Interest and fee revenue, 2.8 million. So without those, it's definitely would have not been that basically further. Now, that is a result of one thing. Retail investors have raised this price a lot. Sundial released offerings and they diluted the shares, but raised this insane amount of cash. And from there, they went in and invested into other companies. And from there, they have investment revenue. So pretty much of a solid plan. Now, before we move on, cannabis business strategy with bankruptcy in the absence of federal banking, and this is going on in the United States, and some of these cannabis kind of companies are going on almost on the verge of bankruptcy. So a company like Sundial can really pick and expand into the US at a cheaper base. Now, another thing is that the new GOP federal legal cannabis bill is being introduced, and this is one of the actual first cannabis bills by the Republican lawmakers, and so that's interesting. We're about to see a bit more introduction or a bit more discussion from the Republican side regarding cannabis. So let's jump right into technical analysis. Now, from the technical analysis standpoint, on the 1 week perspective, what we get to see is that this MACD with the histogram is actually continuously going negative. This usually indicates more of a negative trend. And the reality is that it's kind of slipping below that 50 SMA at 0.71, and it's holding at a very critical level. Now, it is obvious by momentum is that it's attempting to go towards a bit more positive momentum per week, and currently it is highly oversold. Now, when we look into more of a 1-day perspective, what we get to see is that yes, the 50 SMA is up higher, and that's a bad thing, but 50 SMA is above 200 SMA, and it's clinging on the 200 SMA at 69 cents. Now, the 10 SMA is above 30 EMA, which is technically a bullish indicator, but the trading action zone, where most positive reversals occur, is between 87 cents and 74 cents. So a lot of that might sound a bit technical for you. What you need to know is that it's a very critical time right now where it's sliding downwards, and the best you can hope for is an accumulation period. Now, on stochastic fast and stochastic slow, they're both telling you that this is perhaps the accumulation period. However, the moving averages and the Bollinger Bands are all dipping a little bit downwards. What does that mean? Well, it means that you can start expecting for it to trade between the Bollinger Band's 97 cents in the top and 66 cents in the bottom. Now, in terms of the charts here, what you're seeing is that the Fibonacci retracements is showing 104 as a resistance, 160, 205, 250, 314, and 396. The only support on this Fibonacci retracements is sitting at 14 cents. Now, on a price line action, we see a significant support down at 70 cents. Below there, 56 cents, and below there, 42 cents. Significant resistance levels are sitting at 78 cents. Above there, 96 cents. Above there, 110. Above there, 124, 133, going upwards to 155, jumping to 176, going to 202, and then 219, and then we start jumping up to 296, etc. It comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? Well, I'm definitely enjoying the kind of movement that they're moving on, not price line action, but what they're actually doing with that amount of money. A lot of these companies would tell you, well, they're balancing their sheets and, running operations, quote unquote, and you don't know what's going on. But we see a lot of that money moving on towards investments. They recorded the first positive earnings in their history when it comes into this quarter. And so, well, I'm not talking about EPS, I'm talking about what I referred to a little bit earlier. Now, in terms of just everything coming in together, I think within the next 5 years, this one will be in a lot better place than it is right now. Now, of course, this is not a short squeeze, just waiting to happen. The short interest last time I checked was below 15%, which is not a lot, but it's somewhat considerable. And another sense is that I do think that this one does have all the right parts. It's just really having faith in the management, and so far I do like what they're doing, and I think that in the longer term it's bullish. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day.
Now, if you made it this far into the video, I do recommend that you go ahead and join our Discord server. There's a lot of amazing folks in here. We do a lot of discussions here into the trading floor throughout the day. A lot of people are in there, and we do ask questions. You can ask me any question you would like on there. We do post research and DDs, and we hold weekly chat sessions. And we also do have a lounge in there. So make sure to actually join that and join the fun there. Have a wonderful day and a good one.